Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
As we always say here at Watches of Espionage, tradition matters. It's what builds culture and forms the pillars of our community. During the holiday season, tradition means appreciating the cinematic masterpiece that is Die Hard, as well as Home Alone and other Christmas classics. In this video, we'll stay true to our roots, exploring these iconic films in the way we know best, through the lens of national security and, of course, the watches worn on screen. Watches of Espionage is curated by a former CIA case officer with a passion for timepieces. On the W.O.E. YouTube channel, we explore the myths and realities of the intersection of watches and the military, intelligence, and national security. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be informed when we release new videos. A look at Christmas movies through the scope of W.O.E. wouldn't be complete without a mention of one key moment that we've discussed before: trading a Rolex to get out of a sticky situation. In 1990's Home Alone, Kate McAllister, mother to the protagonist of the film, 8-year-old Kevin, needs to get back to Chicago from Paris as quickly as she can after realizing she forgot her son at home. Left to his own devices, Kevin effectively defends his homestead from the wet bandits, utilizing a level of ingenuity that would see him excel in special operations or the world of intelligence. At the airport, Kevin's mom barters with an elderly couple for a seat on the plane back to Conus with 2 first-class tickets, $500, gold jewelry, and most relevant to W.O.E., a watch. But not just any watch, a Rolex. The elderly woman asks Kate if it's a real Rolex, and she's met with Kate's non-answer.
Is that a real Rolex?
Do you think it is?
No.
But who can tell?
The interaction points to the nature of Rolex watches as universal currency, a tool. We have discussed this concept at length in a previous video, and this may be the first confirmed case of a Rolex actually being used in this manner. Some will say that Home Alone is fiction, but we beg to differ. Like many of you, we are inclined to believe everything we see on the internet. In this case, the Rolex was used to get out of France, but a Rolex will most likely work as a bartering chip just about anywhere. It's not just a tactic for those in special operations and the intelligence community. But of course, the repercussions of someone finding out it's fake could be much more dire in our line of work. Luckily for Kate, she found her way back to the US and lived to fight another day, as did Kevin after making short work of the wet bandits. There are nerds out there who might tell you, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. The debate has been going on for over 35 years. Wherever you stand on the matter, the movie was re-released in the theaters last holiday season for its 35th anniversary. In the business of intelligence, we call that an indicator. For Watches of Espionage, Die Hard will always be a Christmas movie. It has all of the essential components. A family comes together, endures some hardship, the Christmas holiday is saved, and everything is merry and bright in the end. It might as well have been on Hallmark. In the film, John McClane, masterfully portrayed by Bruce Willis, wears a Tag Heuer 3000 series quartz chronograph, a fitting watch for Die Hard's protagonist. As we've said many times at this point, sketchy dudes wear Breitling, and while this holds true, Tag Heuer makes a strong argument for being a close runner-up. McClane is an NYPD detective, and in 1988, when the movie came out, the city was grappling with a massive crack cocaine problem paired with a record number of homicides, 1,842 in total. The streets were tough. Luckily, McClane is tougher. He's a little rough around the edges, and that unpolished element of his character is exacerbated by his newly estranged wife, Holly, moving his family to Los Angeles. While visiting LA for her company's holiday Christmas party, all hell breaks loose as a group of German terrorists hold the entire party hostage, killing a few employees in the process. With his skills learned from being a cop on the mean streets of New York and his knack for improvisation, McClane jumps into action, no shoes needed. If you've seen the film, which is required viewing for the W.O.E. community, you know the rest.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Worn inside McClane's wrist in true tactical fashion, is a Tag Heuer 3000 series quartz chronograph, a watch we would argue is perfect for the character. The NYPD isn't issuing watches, so this is a private purchase, or maybe even a gift from his ex-wife. It has that blue-collar character to it, and it's the sort of watch that's charming because it isn't really a watch guy's watch. It's the kind of watch you wear if you don't care about watches. For McClane, it's a tool. If McClane wore a Rolex or Patek, it wouldn't telegraph the right message. McClane is effortlessly cool because he just doesn't give a damn. In a world where we fetishize what watches are worn on screen, there's a certain charm to a guy wearing a quartz Tag Heuer while using a Beretta 92 FS and a Heckler & Koch MP5, actually a modified HK 94S. Borrowed from the terrorists he eliminated to eventually get to Hans Gruber, played by Alan Rickman, the legendary actor's breakout role. In addition to McClane's tag, watches play a significant role in the plot. In fact, one crucial W.O.E. related scene was reportedly left on the cutting room floor. In the original script, the members of the terrorist group synchronized their own black tag watches prior to entering Nakatomi Plaza. McClane would go on to remove one watch from the body of a dispatched terrorist, noting, "I think these guys are professionals. Their IDs are too good. There's no labels on their clothes and they all have the same watch." McClane would use this small detail to identify Gruber as the leader of the group when he pretended to be a hostage. While this scene was ultimately removed from the film, details matter, and the culture of watches of espionage in Hollywood is strong. Further, McClane's ex-wife Holly wears a Rolex Datejust, a gift from her co-worker and a not-so-subtle signal that she has moved on from the more common lifestyle of the wife of a cop. Holly's Rolex is a stark contrast to McClane's tag, a fitting combination. Master terrorist Hans Gruber's Cartier tank says everything you need to know about him. He has good taste and wealth to match, and he probably didn't earn it the right way. After all, how do you fund a massive terrorist plot to kill innocent Americans? While sketchy dudes wear Cartier doesn't roll off the tongue, this might be worthy of further exploration. Of note, McClane would go on to wear a Breitling chronomat in 1995's Die Hard with a Vengeance, which is rumored to have been the actor's personal watch. Sketchy dudes wear Breitling. We don't make the rules. Speaking of guns and Tag Heuers in the glory days of the late 80s, there's another Christmas movie that showcases a law enforcement officer demonstrating how to make an otherwise mundane watch cool. Martin Riggs, played by Mel Gibson, wears a black plastic Tag Heuer Formula 1 in Lethal Weapon. It's 35 millimeters, a lady's watch by today's standards. But that doesn't matter. The man makes the watch, not the other way around. In the film, Riggs is a former U.S. Army Green Beret turned cop, and that explains the spec of the Formula 1 on his wrist. It's black on black, dial, case, and rubber strap. The color echoes his inconsolable attitude after the death of his wife. The plastic Formula 1 was incredibly popular in the era, almost like the Moonswatch of today. They were cheap, relatively cool, and ubiquitous, having been launched in 1986, 1 year before Lethal Weapon was released. Of note, Tag Heuer relaunched the Formula 1 earlier in 2024 in a range of colors. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas to the W.O.E. community. Get out there and use your tools. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, drop a comment, and hit the bell icon to be informed when we release new videos. For even more, check out our website, watchesofespionage.com, for more content, as well as our collection of watch straps and other purpose-built tools designed for our community. Until next time, happy hunting.